Alright guys, we are here with Miguel, member from the first place team in Springfest 2022 in Portugal, Lisbon. Miguel, first off, what's the story about Fun and Glory 2?
So our team obviously started with the Fun and Glory, like normal, because we were trying to think about the team name, and we thought, oh, we just want to have fun and at least try to win, right? So we made that team that participated first in the Brussels Springfest, like 4 years ago by now, and we managed to reach top 8 on that tournament. But then to participate in this tournament, we changed the name to 2 because one of our team members stopped playing Vanguard, so we had added a new team member, and to not be the same team name, we just changed it like it's the second version, and it seemed to work because we reached the first place in this one.
And first off, congratulations.
Yeah, it was a stressful match. It was the match that decided everything.
Yeah.
It was also a revenge match because we lost. I lost to the team earlier.
On Swiss.
It was so stressful playing against the meta deck like Magnolia. It was not easy. So I played with the Loro deck. It's not like considered, not yet like considered the meta deck.
Right now, yeah.
Because the support that was supposed to come, it's going to arrive a bit late. So I had to play with the older cards. But the new support will give like this deck a whole new meaning. Like there's a grade 1 that lets you check top card, and knowing your top card before applying all your skills in this deck is crucial. Like so many times you mistakenly draw the overtrigger or the important trigger like a heal or critical, and now with that grade 1 you at least know if you want to do the skill first before applying all the other skills. So first, the right deck. So I use the Heidi Forerunner just because it's shiny.
Oh, it's SP, okay.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I do the same.
And we can use any Forerunner in this case, so why not? Normal grade 1, Loro. It lets you search for a grade 1 song that starts to kickstart all the deck. And this one, the grade 2, lets you search the grade 2 song. And finally, the main unit lets you play the songs and apply those effects. So, on triggers, I play an odd, like it's not usual this setup, but I play shiny crit, yes, and then
Understandable.
and then only normal for criticals, so 5 total. It's not like a common number. I just had to make more space for the draw triggers. I use 6, it's quite a lot, but since the meta is quite rush nowadays, I needed the pieces on my hand as quickly as possible. So draw triggers are also a good card to discard for other skills or even the right deck. So you don't lose much by discarding a draw besides another trigger. So I just use 6 draws, and then the usual 4 heals, all different, because all Bermuda players play different triggers.
Yeah, and shiny one.
And now the shiny one.
Another shiny one.
The over trigger.
Alright.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory, over trigger.
All over triggers are the same, so why not use the most beautiful one?
Alright.
So, grade 1s. Starting, let me just push this.
Alright.
Starting with the grade 1 song that is fetched by the grade 1 right deck card, Loro. It lets you on play or on paying the cost, draw one and apply 5,000 power to your finger. It's pretty. It's only for the early game. You only play one because you want as much as order cards in your order zone as soon as possible.
All right.
And then I play 3 of the counter charger. This piece is crucial if you want to maintain your game. If you use too many resources, like for example against prison, you need a way to counter charge that cost. So this is very crucial. And then normal for perfect cards, like any deck has. That is self-explanatory. You need this. Like, you need this, but you could not play if you want to be more aggressive and play more aggressive cards instead, but you play a risk in doing that. And then 2 of this one. This card is only to apply more pressure on the late game. Because in your early game, you just want the front row to attack. And this one is if you have more targets to restand with the Loro skill, then you want this one on the late game to kill your opponent faster, basically. And then on the grade 2s, once again starting with the orders, 3 of the critical orders. You only need 2 at most, but 3 is a good number if some is going to goes to the damage zone or drop zone or something. Because if you're going first, you technically only need 1. If you're going second, you will use 2, because they give you a draw on place if your opponent is already at grade 3 or greater. So if you're going first, this effect does not apply, so you only need 1.
All right.
And then 4 Acknowledgments. This is your draw engine. Like, you play a counterblast to discard 1 and draw 2. You need this early. You can sacrifice this one in the late game for another card I'm going to show you after.
All right.
This is your main defense. So this grade 2 gains +5 shield, +5,000 shield for each card in the order zone. So when you are in grade 3, you already have 2 to 3 orders. So this is minimum 20,000 shield.
All right.
So it's quite good. On grade 3s, I use 4 of the restand order. Like, you need this every turn. So you need at least to have 1 on hand every turn. If you don't have this, your deck loses that turn. Like, you need the pressure. And then, obviously, if you want Persona rides, you play the copies of Loro. Okay?
Self-explanatory.
And this is the card that most people have an issue about. It's this one. This, you can use this or another one that is a grade 2 that gains +5 if you already have an order in your order zone. It's great for early game, but it's only 13,000 with the skill, because it's 8,000 base. So I play this one because when you play this, you already have at least 1 order. So it's already 13 also. And it scales up. So on your, if you have 4 or 5 orders, this is already 15 shield required card at least. So you have 4, it's already an 19 by itself. So with Persona Ride, it's 29. It's a good number. So this card is used. This card is used for the late game. I had some people ask me about this card because it's not common. Every player I played against that used this deck always played the other one, the Grade 2. And I saw that card was useless for them. Like, if you have it in the early game, it's awesome. Like, you have an early rush, but this is not the rush deck. This is scaling up deck. Like, if you rush, you lose against other rush decks because you lose all defenses. So that one, that Grade 2, is great for that occasion on the earliest early game, as soon as you can play it. But after that, it's useless. So this is the deck I use. Like I said, with the new support, it's going to be even better.
And even the triggers with skills and everything.
Yeah, that one also. We still have the old triggers.
Yeah.
So we still have the 15,000 max defense trigger. So we'll have the new 20 and the 10. So this will be able to maintain itself even better. We have had a very fun time. We didn't at all expected this. Like, we came to play just because we had so much fun at the first Springfest. We wanted to have it again. With COVID, we haven't been able to. So since they opened the Springfest yet, we managed to come and actually managed to win. Like, we won. I don't know how. I had like an outdated deck, kinda. I lost mainly to rush decks or unexpected results. Like Magnolia was the hardest because I had a very bad game in the first game. I only had triggers on hand, no field. It was a disaster. Quite better on the second time. But Bastion, for example, I had the match kindly balanced, but then he had luck with triggers on his grade 4 drive check, so I ended up losing. So this is a deck that will not win you all the matches, like guaranteed, but builds up by time. So you can't expect to win early with this deck. You need to build it up and be even better and better. If the opponent survives one more turn, it's going to be more difficult for him to guard the next turn.
Yeah.
It's building up even harder every time. So this is a build-up game, a build-up deck. Don't rush. Try to maintain your resources for against other matchups like Prison. Be smart with what they can do. For example, common play I do against Pure Light, Seraph Pure Light Prison. Since they take cards out of the soul, I try to bait by putting cards on the field, so they prison them. So then I can use all the soul to free them again.
Right.
So then Pure Light will not have any cards from the soul. It's a common tactic I use. It worked on the first game. I practiced that way. So it's about knowing what your opponent can do, not rushing, and maintaining resources.
All right. Do you want to give any shout outs to someone, a group, or something?
Well, of course, I want to thank all my team members. They were able to come with me. We had to schedule like 2 months in advance because these things we don't have much time for these things. We are not young, so we already work like our usual job, so it's not easy for them. So I'll thank them, of course, for managing to come here. Also, I want to thank all the other people who play with us in our locals. They are always available to train against other decks. So that's how I was able to maintain the game. So yeah, that's
All right.
the shout out, basically.
Thank you really much, Miguel.